Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. Today, we are going to be answering a question. A question that drives us. A question that defines us. A question that is going to be very controversial. We are going to answer the question with, what is wrong with the Justice League? The Justice League movie of 2017, the one directed by Zack Snyder, kind of by Joss Whedon, lots of shit went down. So, Scott William Hale, I have a question for you. What's wrong?
Yes.
What is wrong with the Justice League?
Well, you know, the things that are wrong with Justice League are, first, CGI. The CGI has not caught up with what Marvel's doing. Marvel is so much better at CGI. It's not that their CGI is bad. It's just that in comparison, which everybody's going to do nowadays, is in comparison, it's not nearly as good. It's probably closer to what people do in video games or what people have come to expect in video games than what people are doing in cinema as far as Marvel. So I think that's a big thing that people have complaints for. The other thing that I think that is a main thing is that I think they saw when they were going dark and Marvel was having success, mostly only maybe because they were making more movies, is that they tried to, with The Flash, try to insert some comedy in there. And it seemed a little forced to me. It didn't seem as natural and as natural and a flowing thing. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're correct in those 2 points, but I think it goes deeper than that. So one, we're going to touch on the CGI point, correct. But I feel like you shouldn't look at a $200 million budget movie and be like, oh, they have problems with the CGI because where the fuck else is that money going? But you're right. Steppenwolf looked like a PS2 fucking video game character. There was no life to him in his face specifically. But then, and we shouldn't play the comparison game, but then you look at Josh Brolin's Thanos, and you see the mocap work that was fucking brilliant, and you're really just like, okay, well, this thing doesn't look alive. It doesn't look like a person. It doesn't have emotions. It just looks like a big gray blob that I'm supposed to be scared of, but I'm not. Right?
Do you remember watching what was the Christmas movie with Tom Hanks, on the train? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was so. that looked so much like a video game where the eyes are all just dark.
I can't remember.
And everything. And that is similar to what they're doing with
Steppenwolf?
with Justice League with Steppenwolf.
He looked dead. He looked like not a person.
When it comes to Marvel, you can see the pores in their skin. You can see they seem more lifelike than human beings do.
Just the emotion, but even like when Thanos would move his arm, the way it would flex.
Exactly.
It's perfect. Okay, so yeah, I agree with you there, right? Just CGI villain, look like a CGI villain. I think we're really going to break down the issue with Justice League is that there's too many hands in the collective pot, right? Like, Zack Snyder had a vision, and they hired Zack Snyder for a vision, right? And his vision, I feel like Warner Brothers thought was legit at first. But then Man of Steel came out, and it had middling reviews, right? I love Man of Steel, but a lot of people didn't like this interpretation of Superman. And then BVS came out, and I feel like that was a problem. It was dark, and it was gritty, and I loved it, but I feel like a lot of people wanted it to be more like Marvel. They wanted it to be funner and happier and all that kind of shit. So then by the time Justice League rolls around, I feel like Snyder had his vision, but then he had Warner Brothers. And he had them being like, no, well, we need to make it funny. No, well, we need to throw jokes in there. No, well, we can't do this, it's too dark. Right? So they start butchering that, and then he falls out of the production because of personal issues. Whedon goes in there, and Whedon's lighter tone in general, but I still think he would have made a great movie. The problem is, you can't have two directors directing a movie. And you can't have multiple hands in the pot. Anytime you look at a movie, and I'm looking at you, fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2, when you have too many hands in the fucking pot, fucking telling you what you need to do, a singular vision is lost. Art, as you know, as a fucking artist, right, is a vision, right?
Exactly.
And making a movie it's still art. It's still a vision. And when you have too many people and they're saying change this, change that, change this, change that, you lose what that vision is, good or bad, right? Whether you like Snyder's vision or not, the end product of what Justice League was a fuck ton of different people saying it needs to be a fuck ton of different things, and it ended up becoming nothing. It ended up becoming nobody's vision, the product that nobody wanted. And that's why if you watch the movie tonally, it's all fucking over the place. When I watch Justice League, I see what should be a great movie. I see scenes in little parts that are amazing, But then when you go to the next scene, it makes no fucking sense. Because tonally, it's all over the place. Story-wise, it's all over the place. That's my biggest issue with Justice League. And trust me, there's more issues. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm close there? What do you think?
Well, I think you're close. I think that all of DC's problem since they've been doing this is they've been trying to, well, to quote the writers for Marvel, I can't. They're the writers that wrote Infinity War and so many others. I can't remember their names exactly right now. But the problem, what they said was they know exactly what DC's problem is because they're taking spaghetti, throwing it against the wall, and seeing what'll stick. Mm-hmm. And the problem is they don't have a firm idea of what direction they're going. They don't know what they're trying to do. It's like you said, they keep switching midstream. Mm-hmm. They keep switching things in and out. They keep changing their minds. They're not confident in the product they're putting out. They're not confident in their story arcs. They don't really have a story arc. And so what they're doing is they're just trying to figure, and this is the worst thing you can do, just trying to figure, I've done this with my art, trying to figure out what people want, and just, so instead of trying to do what you know is going to be good, and what you want to do, and what you feel is a good product, you're trying to guess what you think is going to sell. That's the worst thing you can do.
And I agree, but okay, so let's take a moment though. We say that they're not doing what Marvel did, or they should do what Marvel did, and all that. Let's take a minute and let's just point out the fact that what Marvel did is, one, fucking amazing, two, has never been done before in the history of cinema. You look at Infinity War, and we're like, oh, it's just the third Avengers movie. That is a dramatic undercut to everything that movie is. Right. That is the 19th installment in a film franchise that makes every single installment relevant. It makes every phase of the MCU mentioned. It rewards fans who have been there the entire time. Never before in the history of cinema has there been a movie like Infinity War. So, let's be real. No studio is doing what Marvel Studios is doing. Every single studio is trying to build a shared universe right now, and most of them are failing, right? So, of course, DC and Warner Brothers are playing catch-up. Of course, they're trying to cash in on the Avengers money because they're like, hey, we have the Justice League. The Justice League should be making Avengers money, and it should. Justice League stories are every bit as good as Avengers stories and should be making the same kind of money. But they didn't earn it. Because what Avengers did was they popped out their solo movies in Phase 1 first. And people forget now, but if you look at Phase 1, aside from Iron Man 1, there were no true hits there.
Right.
Nobody gave a fuck about Iron Man 2. Thor and Captain America, the first ones, were not that great. It wasn't until the first Avengers where they hit a home run, and that's because by the time we got there, by the time we had them together, it felt like a collaboration. It felt earned. It felt like these characters that we'd seen before actually coming together for a big fucking event. Versus on DC's side, we had Man of Steel, and then all of a sudden we're having BVS, which was Justice League Light. You're just throwing in all these characters together, which was cool and it was fun, but you didn't feel the sense of urgency. Then bam, we're in Justice League. It didn't feel earned. It didn't feel like they put the groundwork in the way Marvel did. Do you agree with that, or what do you think?
I do agree. Well, first off, I think the first Thor movie was good.
No, I like it too. Right, but it didn't make $1 billion though.
Right,
it wasn't a huge hit.
The big thing is Marvel's had this grand story arc that everything they've been doing. They had an idea of where they were going. They knew where they were going. Every single movie they put out was a piece in the puzzle to get towards where their end goal was for that story. And the problem is, DC needs to stop trying to be Marvel. They need to stop trying to be Marvel Jr. or a second-rate Marvel. They need to get their own identity. They need to figure out what they want to do. They need to have a plan, and they need to have the right people in place to put that out, because the president of Marvel Studios is a comic book fan. So that's the thing. He's a comic book fan who knows about comics. Yes.
DC doesn't have a Kevin Feige.
Right.
They don't have a Feige, whatever the fuck his name is. They don't have a guy like that. But the other big thing that Marvel does as rolling the dice is, since their plan is so far out, they'll pop a movie out, and even if the movie's not a success, they're still rolling with their plan.
Right.
Right? DC Doesn't. If their
They
movie's not
put
a success, they fucking
put out
backtrack.
over 4 times the movies that DC has. That's
in
the
a
thing.
very short amount of time.
In the as far as movie to movie, DC movies make comparable money. They have put out
Make more
4
money, actually.
times the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So what they're doing is they're putting out this stuff that's building this. There's building this universe. They're building their story instead of DC trying to second guess everything they do.
That's the problem. Is like then they'll be like, oh, well, the fans want it to be jokier, so let's put more jokes. The fans want it to be funnier. Let's make it funnier. The fans don't want it to be so. Commit either way.
Commit.
Either fucking way.
What you're gonna do?
And here's the
Commit.
thing. I would make a solid argument that modern day comics, DC tends to be darker than Marvel.
Yes.
And that's fine. If you want that to be your thing, have that be your fucking thing. But then just commit to it. Don't then just realize, because like there was lots of rumors on the Justice League set, and there things that were leaked from quote unquote insiders on the movie as to what was supposed to go down in the Justice League movie. Kevin Smith had his podcast Fat Man on Batman, and he read a list that was supposedly confirmed from this insider as to shit that was supposed to go down in this movie. If you read that list, it's all of a sudden it's like, where the fuck was that movie? That's the movie I want to see. And then all of a sudden, then he starts noting what the changes were because of the fan perception of BVS. And you're like, every single change, I understand because of what fans were saying at BVS, right? Like, I get why they thought they had to do that. But at the same time, fuck them. If you have a vision, let your fuck... Here's the thing. You know what Marvel does? They let talented people be talented, and they let them make movies. DC's not doing that right now, right? And if you... Like, a big part of that was, Superman was supposed to come back with the black suit. Straight out of fucking Superman comics. Right? Would have made nerds like me lose their shit to the point where Henry Cavill shared a picture of like a little fucking part of the suit, right? The same pattern of the Man of Steel suit, but black, and people lost their shit. Then he shows up in the Justice League without it. Why? And the rumor was because DC, Warner Brothers backpedaled on it because they needed to reestablish the hopeful, fun Superman, which I agree, cool. But if you're teasing me with the death of Superman, and now I'm thinking I'm getting black suit Superman, that's what I want to see. So you're pissing off hardcore fans like me now.
Well, what you need to do when you're making superhero movies is you need to appeal to the superhero fans. You need to stop trying to figure out what generic people who go see movies and guess what you think they might want to see. You need to first appeal to the fans, what the people who have read all the comics, they know what's coming, they know what to expect, that what they hope is going to expect, and you need to just be true to what you think you want in your comic book. I feel like they're just doing too much guessing and hoping, hopes and prayers about what their movies
And
are
I
going
agree
to
with
do.
you, because here's the thing.
You know?
You need the general audience. If you want a $1 billion movie, you need a general audience, right? But here's the deal. People like you and me,
Yeah.
I'll go see your movie 3, 4, 5 fucking times in theaters if it's something that I love and I want to see. I don't even want to tell you how much money I spent on The Dark Knight in theaters, right? So you're right, you need to hit your core fan base first and then make it appeal to a broader audience.
How do you feel about how DC movies have keep switching out the actors for
I hate
roles?
it.
I hate it too.
I hate it because here's the thing.
I hate it too.
If you're trying to create a built shared universe, what is super important is consistency, especially to a general audience. I need to see the same actors playing the same roles to make it feel like it's the same world, right? That's why. And here's the thing. I love Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman ever. Fight me, bro. Fight me in the fucking comments. You're wrong. Christian Bale's the best Batman. You're wrong. Christian Bale's in the best Batman movies. Christian Bale is not the best Batman. Batfleck is the best Batman. Fucking fight me. Alright?
No, I agree.
Ben Affleck is the best Batman. I don't know why I fucked that up. I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Ben Affleck's the best Batman. And I love him as Batman. And because of all the production shit that was going on, because of all the issues that were happening, there was these rumors on again, off again, that he might be dropping out as Batman, he might not be. I don't even know if he's going to be in the next Batman movie. Nobody fucking knows right now. It's all up in the air. And that is terribly sad. Same thing with Henry Cavill. Because what this world needs more than anything is consistency to like gel everything together. And I hate that they keep switching actors. Even if they're good actors, it just makes me feel disconnected. And it makes me feel like it's not the same world that I want to watch these movies in.
So I want to ask you another question. Now, this is off of the topic of Justice League. So DC has decided that they're going to be
Worlds of DC?
starting the. No, their movies are going to go off. The Joker is the first movie in this. It's what they're calling DC Dark or DC Black, and what it is it's standalone movies, which has nothing to do with the rest of their movies. This Joker movie that's coming out is the first one where nothing that happens in this ties to anything else. And they have a plan where they're going to do several of these. What do you think about that?
Slightly mixed. So on the one hand, as a comic book fan, I understand the concept of an Elseworld story or other universe story, and I can have my main continuity, and then I could have a story that takes place outside of it, and I could separate them. I could rationalize the difference. My problem is, I think from a business standpoint, it's fucking beyond stupid. Because the casual moviegoer is not you and I. The casual moviegoer are not comic book buffs. And they're going to be like, hey, there's a Joker movie. Why is it Joaquin Phoenix? I thought Jared Leto's the fucking Joker. Oh, I guess Joaquin Phoenix is my new Joker. Oh, Justice League 2. The Joker's in it, but it's Jared Leto again. What do you mean he's the Joker in this world? I don't understand the difference.
And how many Jokers have there been?
Yeah.
There's been so many.
That's the problem, is it gets fucking confusing. Plus, here's the deal. What if Joaquin Phoenix is fucking a dope Joker? And then all of a sudden I want to see him against Batfleck's Batman, but Jared Leto is the current continuity Joker. And I'm like, it's fucking stupid. Don't do it.
This is the test. If they have a big success with this Joker movie, and then they try to insert him into the rest of the movies, you know that they're lost. You know that they're just spitballing.
Bruh, we know that they're lost now.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the next level. It's gonna be, we don't really know what direction we're going.
Yeah.
So.
Here's the problem, man. So, the Avengers, Marvel, all that, they're going in ways and doing things, and I'm watching their movies, and like my jaw's on the floor, right? When I watch your movie, if at the end of the day I feel like I could have done it better, you failed. Because I am not a writer.
Or a director.
I'm not a director. I'm not a producer. I'm not an artist. I have no talent. Literally, I have no talent.
Oh, and I can do it better
But
than
if I fucking truly believe, if you
got problems,
a pen and a paper,
Yeah.
if I believe I could have made, it's like the Dexter series finale. I could have wrote that better. I know. Oh, I'll do a video on that if you guys want me to. I could have wrote a fucking better. I have a better finale in my head right now. If I believe I could have done it better, fucking fail. Fail on you across the board, right? So here's the thing. I feel like I need to preface this. Is those of you who know me, fucking your boy Captain Mal, I'm a DC guy. I love DC. Calm down, Marvel. I love DC more than Marvel. But spoiler alert, you can like both. I like both of them, but I'm a DC guy. Some of the stories in DC are some of the best in comic book fucking history ever. They have some of the most intriguing characters. The stories that could be told with these characters are every bit as amazing as what can be told in Marvel right now. And the fact that they're not, the fact that they're a fucking joke right now is pissing me off. Really pissing me off.
I can tell.
There could be
I can feel it.
There could be great Justice League, great Batman, great Superman, great fucking movies right now.
I agree.
Why the fuck is there not a Man of Steel 2? 2013 that movie came out. You can't give me a Man of Steel 2? You don't know what to do? Give me fucking Brainiac. How about that? Give me Brainiac. Give me fucking City of Kandor. Give me Supergirl. Just give me a fucking Superman movie.
I think he's the best Superman.
No,
so far.
And that is what really pisses me off, is I love Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Of all the interpretations
Superman
of Superman, Henry Cavill is far and away my favorite. I love Man of Steel. I love the humanized version of Superman. I love the fact that he earns when he gets to the point of being the real Superman at the end of Justice League. Mm-hmm. Why do I not have a sequel? Oh, no, but I'm getting Wonder Woman 84, right? Does that have anything to do with the fact that Wonder Woman made $800 million? Because that sequel came out real fucking quick. Now, Wonder Woman's a fantastic fucking movie. I love Wonder Woman. But can we not make this shit so obvious? Like, if you're going to build a cornerstone of a universe, it should be fucking Superman. It's not that fucking hard. I'm a Batman fan, he said, wearing a Superman shirt. But just fucking... It's not that hard. Figure the fuck out. Sorry, I'm mad, bro. Go ahead, talk.
I don't know what you want me to say right now. I'm kind of speechless. I understand everything you're saying. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. I don't know why they're stalling out as a franchise.
They're missing an
I don't know.
opportunity too because like they're taking so fucking long to make these movies. The rumors are that Henry Cavill is gonna leave because he wants paychecks. Like he's gonna go make the Witcher series because you're not fucking committing to giving him a Man of Steel sequel, right? Same thing with Affleck. You keep changing up what's gonna happen with the Batman movie, and he might not be Batman anymore. The worst possible thing that could happen, aside from losing Gal Gadot or however the fuck you say her name, is losing Henry Cavill and fucking Ben Affleck.
Right.
If you lose them, you're fucked.
And all they have to do is write scripts and make movies. That's all they have to do. That's their business. For you and me to do it, it's hard because we don't do that for a living.
Yeah.
For the people that do that for a living, they should be able to do
It
it.
shouldn't be that hard. Here's the deal. If you look at DC Animation, how they adapt popular comic book stories for animated movies, they're brilliance. DC Animation has been killing it for over 15 years at this point. Why in the flying fuck doesn't DC movies, DCEU, DC Worlds, and whatever the fuck they want to call it, just be like, hey, you know what's a good idea? Adapting popular comic book stories into movie format. Kind of worked for Civil War. Kind of worked for Infinity Wars. Maybe there's already fucking talented people that have told this in a slightly different media that we could adapt for the big screen.
Well, here's the deal. Warner Brothers runs the whole thing, and they are... I think that they don't have somebody like Marvel who's the president
have Kevin Feige.
of Marvel.
That's the problem.
They have somebody who's in charge of the I can't remember the guy's name. I had it. I researched
Johns.
it the other day. He's in charge of the Warner Brothers branch of movies, and he has nothing to do with superheroes. He has nothing to do with comic
That's the problem.
books. All
That's
he
the
has to
problem.
do is with making movies and how much
Okay.
money each movie makes.
Do you know why comic book movies from the late 90s to the mid 2000s sucked? Because it was non-comic book people making them. It was studio people making them. Kevin Smith tells a story about how when he got pitched the idea of Superman Lives and he was like partially writing it, which is a funny fucking story.
It is a funny story. I've heard it.
But he actually was like, hey, why don't you get like a comic book guy to write this? And they fucking laughed at him and they were just like, comic book guys don't write movies. I was like, oh, you mean the people that are like most deeply connected with the source material, have a passion for it, and want to make something that truly stands great, shouldn't be writing your movies? Yeah, it makes total sense, bro.
So, have you listened to the punchline of that whole thing, that whole talk he gave on that thing?
All of a sudden,
No, here's
there's
what-
like a giant fucking
Yeah,
spider.
no. So first he starts talking about how he wants the cape gone. The cape? Oh no! That
Fucking
cape,
fags wear capes.
Yeah.
Fucking fags wear
And
capes.
then he goes to where he
Don't want to see
wants
him fucking flying. Fucking
wants
bullshit.
a giant fucking spider. He goes, you know, we need to put a giant fucking spider in this movie. He goes, a giant fucking spider? And he goes, yeah.
I want my fucking King Kong moment where the fucking shit opens, you see fucking King Kong. I want that moment, is what he said.
So, you know, their meeting got over, the movie never got made, and what do you know? What was the movie that they did after that?
So then Kevin Smith is just like, hey. So he talks to the studio, he's like, what's with the spider? And they go, oh, again with the fucking spider. Can you just do a spider but call it something else? And he's like, fucking Snarlack Beast? And I was like, fucking do that, right? Movie never happens. And he's like, I was really remembered of it fucking a couple years later, in 1997, when I'm watching a movie starring Will Smith called The Wild Wild West. And I'm like, holy God, this is a piece of shit. Then all of a sudden the door opens, and there's like this giant fucking spider!
Yeah. There you go. That is Hollywood. That's movie making for you right there in a nutshell.
Hollywood. For all you Hollywood execs that are going to be watching this video, none of you. I'm not a writer. I will write you a better fucking movie, right? I will write you a good DC fucking movie.
I'll write it right now on a napkin.
I could do it right now, and I'm drunk if you couldn't tell. It's not that hard. Just take these characters and make them do cool shit. That's all I want to do. I want to see them doing cool shit. Alright, so this is going on kind of long. Hale, have we fixed DC? Or have we at least spewed out all the problems?
I hope we've put out some ideas for people to think. Some fodder for thought.
I feel like we have put out fodder for... I feel like there's a lot of issues right now with the DC movies, which is a goddamn shame, because these should be every bit as good as Infinity War. And again, I'm a DC guy, but I love Marvel. Infinity War is great. I watched Infinity War, and I'm amazed but pissed off, because DC should be this good. We should be getting a fucking DC Justice League 3 fucking Darkseid War, and it should be that fucking great. So, here's the deal. what do you guys think is wrong with the DC movies? What do you guys think is wrong with Warner Brothers? What would you change? What would you adapt? What stories do you want to see incorporated? Or are they just completely fucked? Should it scrap everything? I feel like you guys should let us know in the comments below. Hale, closing thoughts.
I don't have any, Vic. I think this was great.
I think this is beyond great. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
Peace
Be
out.
sure to like and subscribe. Peace.